Hi Stampers, welcome to Great Inspirations. My name is Kim Tolbert and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator located in Vevey, Indiana. Thank you for joining me today. Today I thought I would walk you through making a card that I've made in the past but haven't made many of recently, and that is called an easel card, and that's what these cards are right here. As you can see, it'll stand up on its own, and you can have a little message here. You can also have a message on the inside. Now, as you can see, I have the landscape version and a portrait versions. This is made with Enjoy the Moment. It's your day, enjoy it. And then I didn't put anything inside of here. I think I did, yes, friendship is found in simple things. This was made with Way to Goat. And this one was made using Free as a Bird. It sits up. Happy birthday. And inside it says, it's your day, enjoy it. I use that stamp a lot. That's from the Happiest Birthday Wishes. And then this is the Happy Birthday Chick. And of course it is also a portrait orientation. And it says Happy Birthday. If you open all the way, you're still a spring chicken. So, today I thought I would just walk you through the basics. We won't really make the full card, but we'll walk through the basics of how to cut and assemble these cards, the easel fold card, in either portrait orientation or landscape orientation. All these stamp sets that I'm using today, you have no doubt seen before, but they are also carrying over to Stampin' Up's 2021 through 2022 annual catalog, which will make its long-awaited premiere this Tuesday, May 4th. And I know we're all excited to be able to order out of that catalog. I was able to pre-order, and I love those sets, and now I'm already waiting for new ones. I have a problem like that, I believe. But anyway, I am looking forward to being able to use new sets and new designer series paper, but also to incorporate all those things with the stamp sets and papers and cardstocks that I already have. So how about we get started, and let's do the portrait version of the card first. So what we're going to need to start with, we'll just move these over here for a sec. We are going to need a piece of cardstock, and it can be whatever color you want your card base to be. I would suggest a lighter color. This, of course, is basic white, and it's going to be scored at, I'm going to do this backwards. We need to start over here because I have mine is already scored. But we're going to score it at 2 3/4 and then 5 1/2. And then when you have done your scoring, both of the folds will be mountain folds. So fold on the score line. That was the 2 3/4. This is 5 1/2. And then I'm going to use my bone folder to make sure those folds are creased really well. And this is the thick basic white cardstock. So it's basically a regular card base that measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And like I said, we started out with 11 inches by 4 1/4. And all these measurements and instructions will be on my blog, and I'll have all that, the link to my blog and all that kind of stuff in the description of this video. Now, the next thing you're going to need after you have your card base, you're going to need another piece of cardstock that is cut at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then also whatever you want to embellish it, or layers that you might want. And for this, I've chosen a piece of Designer Series paper that is 4 by 5 1/4. And we'll also need a stopper. And what I mean by a stopper is this little piece of Designer Series paper right here, and that's what, or it can also be cardstock, but that's what kind of allows the card to sit up on its own. So for that, this is a piece of Designer Series paper, and it's 2 inches, and it's the width of your card, so 4 1/4, and then it's scored at 1 inch, and then you fold it in half, and we're going to do a little gluing, and that's what we're ready to do now. So I'll get my silicone craft sheet, and I'm going to use for this the multi-purpose glue, because it will give me a little wiggle room, time to work with getting everything lined up straight. So the first thing we're going to do is get some glue right here. And it does not take a whole lot of this glue, and I usually just use the tip of it to kind of move it all around once I get it on there. And now we'll take the card base that we, or the panel, which is the size of a card base, and we're just going to line it up. And now, as you can see, we have, it's only on the bottom. It's only adhered the bottom half, so it will sit up. This little fold right here that we made with that score line, that is what allows it to sit up on its own. Now we're going to deal with this little stopper, and all we have to do is put a little glue right here, and that may be a little bit more than I needed, and then just fold it over, and it's good. And now we're going to put some glue. It could be this side or this side, it doesn't matter, but the folded edge, you want that to go basically at the bottom of your card, so that's what's facing out for the recipient to see. And then the folded edge will hold your card front up. So we'll put a little glue on here. Bring this back in. And I usually just eyeball it, and it depends if I'm going to stamp something here, but I just usually put it, I don't know, an inch or so from the bottom. That usually works. And there we go. That's for the portrait style. Okay. So the next one I said we would do is one that is the landscape orientation, like these two cards. And that's just a matter of changing the size of your card base. And just like making regular cards, you can have them that go long ways or short ways. So what we're going to need for this card on the landscape, we're going to need a card base. And this card base is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2. And it is scored at 2 1/8 and 4 1/4. So we're going to just fold this on the score line. Again, we're going to make both of them are going to be basically mountain folds. I don't think my cardstock is cut exactly straight, but we'll make this do. So there's our first fold. It's just like a regular card base. Then basically we're going to fold it in half. And that's at that 2 1/8 inch score line. I said to use the bone folder. And there we go. And now I also, once again, I have some designer series paper. This is from the hand penned designer series paper that will be in this new catalog that's coming out on Tuesday. It's very pretty. And this is some gorgeous grape cardstock. So we're going to do just like we did the last time. Put a little adhesive, a little bit of this glue right there. Then line our card front up, the corners match and meet. Oops. Now there's a good thing about wiggle room with this glue, and there's a negative because it just kind of moved on me. But we got it back in place. There we go. As you can see, let's press this down a little bit so it'll adhere really well. But, so there's that. And now we're ready to add our stopper. And this time I've used cardstock, and it is the gorgeous grape. And it is 5.5 by 2. And it's scored at 1. Just like last time, we're going to put some adhesive, some of this all-purpose glue right in here. There we go. And now we'll put some glue on this side. And then remember, we want the folded side towards the bottom, so when someone looks at the card, they'll be looking at the folded side. And again, I just 3/4 of an inch, an inch, somewhere in there. And there we go. Like I say, you could put a sentiment here, some kind of a greeting, just like I've done for this one. And on this one, I did a little stamping on the stopper. So this is the one that's free as a bird. And that is one of the landscape. And here's one of the portrait ones from Enjoy the Moment. And this is the new in color, the soft succulent. And then we have the Way to Goat, and everybody knows this is one of my very favorite stamp sets, so I was really happy it carried over. And just use some of the little tin cans to kind of as an embellishment. And then we have, let me scoot these down just a bit there. And then we have the, oh, what is this? It's totally, my mind went blank. Hey, birthday chick. Of course, the balloons are carrying her up, and away. And, oops. Of course, that's the designer series paper. And these are just the rhinestones, the basic rhinestones. And I just colored them with the Stampin' Blends markers. So there you have it. The easel cards in portrait or landscape versions. And honestly, what I call these are easy and wow cards because they're relatively easy to make, as you saw. And when the recipients receive them, they're like, wow, that's really great. It's interesting. It's different, but not too different. That's what I like about it. I used to have a little sticker that I would put on the back of the cards to explain they were easel cards. But what I found was an easel card, people figure it out real quick. Oh, yeah, I see what that's for. They figure it out. I sent some never-ending cards out one time, and people really liked them, but they didn't understand them. So I was just really aware that when I send out a card that's a little bit different, that doesn't just open up, that sometimes it needs a little bit of explanation, but I did find that these easel cards really didn't need much of an explanation. The people were able to figure them out just fine. Well, that's it for today, Stampers. Thank you again for joining me. And remember, all of the measurements and other instructions will be available on my blog, and that link will be in the description of this video. Until next time, stamp happy!